Welcome to the Mythic KJ Guide. I've chosen a red background for this because there will be blood. Guilds are frequently seeing 400 to 600 wipes on this boss, if they even kill it. So, be ready and don't get discouraged. Let's get started with basic mechanics that everyone will have to get used to quickly. The first raid killer is the big Ass Purple Orb, the Rupturing Singularity. This knocks you back further than Heroic, and you will really need to be all up on the sexy, well-polished, shadowy combustible. The trick to the changes for the big purple orb is to understand that they frequently come in pairs and fours, and you need to move beside the orb in the direction of the next orb in the series of pushbacks. If you do this right, you'll be flung to the new orb and won't have to move far to safely whee to the next mechanic. If you do this wrong, you'll fly off the edge or be out of position for the next mechanic where you will then fly off the edge. If you do this wrong enough times, your raid leader will probably create a voodoo doll of your genitals and pierce it repeatedly with something sharp and shiny. Because the orb knockback is more powerful on Mythic, you can't just stand near one that hits in the center and hope for the best. There are 3 ways to deal with this knockback, and none of them involve prayer. You could use a personal displacement escape ability like Blink or Disengage, you can use the Wailing Grass debuff, or you can use Warlock Gateways. I'll cover the latter 2. The tank is going to get a Shadow Ad and a Dispellable debuff called Lingering Well. DPS kill this ad. Healers have to dispel the tank to trigger a spell called Wailing Grasp, which is like a mass grip for the raid. The tank needs to be away from the edge so there's reasonable time to dispel before the tank goes off the edge. The healer dispels just after the orb hits and everyone is pulled to the tank position, negating the pushback. To use Warlock Gates, everyone situates near a gate and waits for the purple orb to almost hit. You want the orb to go off while you're traveling to the other gateway, so putting these gateways far apart is in your best interest, so there's more room for error. The DPS shadows gain a new mechanic that I like to call Taco Bell Tuesday. If you're affected by the shadow reflection, move to one of the 3 marked locations that form a triangle in the center of the room. The vertices of this triangle are scientifically proven to increase sex appeal and make you irresistible to the opposite sex, so definitely go there. For people who are not targeted by the shadow reflection, just DPS down the ads. For the shadow targets, move to the edge of the room and get ready for Taco Bell Tuesday. These 3 unfortunate souls will be afflicted with a malady that causes them to shoot balls of fire out of their anus in natural concentric circles, just as you might after visiting Taco Bell and trying their latest combination of tacos, cheese, and sadness. I was going to animate these anus fireballs, but I got lazy and shut up. I know what you're thinking. This is not enough mechanics to deal with. Do you have any more that might wipe the raid? I'm glad you asked. DPS and tanks aren't the only dorks to get shadow ads anymore. Healers get ads too. The healer shadows appear in combination with a purple orb, so group up normally, launch yourself across the room, and get away from the green goblins. Healers must heal these to full, and everyone avoids the purple circles left behind which silence and damage. There will be Armageddon overlaps, so people will have to soak the reddish spikes inside of purple badness. Heal the soakers through the purple damage and Armageddon spike. Oh right, Armageddon. We get 2 big soaks instead of 1 and 4 small soaks. Used to be 6. The big soaks are for tanks, the small soaks are for others not soaking the Dreadflame beam thingy. That's it, right? No? There's still more? Fine. Dreadflame is soaked by tanks, rogues, DKs, and warlocks generally. They have defensive things for the damage. Everyone else should avoid them like your Uncle Gerald with a wonky eye. For the Illidan Intermission, we move the boss to a corner to cheese the spawns of Shadow Ads and Illidan. Grip the ads to a common spot and AoE them down. Use a Warlock Gateway to deal with a purple orb drop. You still get the flaming orbs in Phase 3, but now there are 3 in a row. Everyone moves to a condensed location to control the spawn of the 3 consecutive orbs. 3 or more runners will rotate run duties and try to make the orb as small as possible before dropping it in or near the rift. Darkness of 1,000 Souls. You want to move into the rift right before the darkness cast to mitigate most of the damage. Depending on the health of the rift, you may need to have a couple of people out of the rift with defensives such as tanks, so everyone who doesn't have defensives inside the rift will be mitigated by the rift's health pool. Did that make sense? Basically, the rift can only mitigate so much of darkness. If you can survive it without the rift, you may be assigned to stand outside of the rift so the rift has enough health to keep the rest of the raid alive. The most dangerous part of Phase 3 is the Obelisk, which start at 3 but increase in number by 1 with each successive cast of Demonic Obelisk. This is an enrage mechanic, and as Phase 3 progresses, you're going to have fewer and fewer safe places to stand. Other mechanics overlap, and you'll want someone with a good eye for safe spots to mark the safe locations for everyone to stand. The mechanic that really complicates the Obelisk is the Flaming Orb. The group essentially needs to move off the safe space to coax the Flaming Orb spawn and then move to the safe location to avoid the Obelisk explosions while an unfortunate soul is kiting the orb around the badness. That's it? We're done? That's not so bad. There's no way we're going to wipe 500 to 700 times on this, right? We're really, really good at mechanic. Okay, to wrap this up, move beside purple orbs to get launched to the next purple orb location. Use Wailing Grass dispels to grip the raid immediately after purple orb explosion to prevent anyone from falling off the side. DPS shadows move to the inner triangle and spread the shadows apart. They then move to the edge of the room to participate in the time-honored tradition of Taco Bell Tuesday. People need to dodge the fiery orbs coming out of their butt. Healer's shadows have to be healed to full. Know that the purple circles left behind silence and do damage, so don't enter them unless you have to for Armageddon. Armageddon has 2 big soaks for tanks. You're likely 3 tanking this fight. The small soaks are for anyone not doing Dreadflame. Dreadflame is split between tanks, rogues, DKs, or warlocks. Obelisks are an enrage mechanic and increase by 1 with each new cast. Safe spots become harder to find. Someone will likely mark safe locations. Remember to bait the flaming orbs away from the safe location and then move back to the location after the fiery orb spawn. Good luck, you're going to need it.